Good afternoon. Today is the 25th of June and this is part 2 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the Yattendon Classic Vehicle Day. Part 1 was really bad because the camera kept overheating and cutting out, which was rubbish, so I've abandoned that camera and we wanted the second one. I do apologise in advance if I get things wrong, which happens all the time. If I fall over, if I get interrupted by wind noise and announcements and things like that. I'm afraid it's just the way it goes on this channel. 1982 Morris Ital 1700 HL estate. Look at this. Very rare, the Itals now. And you know, based on the old marina by and large, really. Nothing particularly wrong with that. Marinas aren't that bad, in my opinion. There's quite a lot of variety here actually today. Obviously we've got the Ital, which you know, something I approve of. And then we've got something an awful lot older. Much older. It's actually a Lancia. It's 1929 Lancia di Lamdatura. It's me. And then something else I think that lots of you might like. A Ford Sierra. We'll have a look at the data sheet here. It's a 1989 1.8 and this is diamond white. We'll have a look at the back and see if we've got any trim level. This looks like a mid-spec one to me. It's an automatic. Yeah, 1.8L, so it is a mid-spec one. Proper company car spec, that, isn't it? Morris Mine 1000 without the split windscreen. So this will be 948cc, I think, and it's a 58, like one my mother used to have. 1999 Bentley Arnage green label with the BMW engine. Oh, and it's got, I'll just take my glasses off to look at this properly, a beige leather interior with wood and piping. That is very agreeable. Incredibly nice. I want one. That one will do me nicely, I think. Can I afford the fuel bills though? Probably not. So, Triumph TR3, I think this is. Yeah, it's a TR3, be from the late 50s, classic colour for those. Mark 1 Escort RS2000, 1973-74 registration. I think those are the original seats and steering wheel as well. Original specification ones anyway. Then we will move on to some open top sports cars. I'll have a look at this MGA first. But just as MGA, then it's one of the earlier ones, which this one is. I don't know the name of this colour. It looks brilliant, this colour. I don't know the name of it though. 2015 Morgan. Tell me on there. Actually, no, it doesn't. Sometimes the Morgan badge tells you what model it is. Sometimes it doesn't. Have a look on the back to see if there's any clue. No. I have no idea. Oh, it's a +4. There we go. This one, similar here, the dash looks very similar. Is this also a +4? I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, again, they're not telling me. I imagine it is. It looks ever so similar. One of these 948cc miners again. This one's a convertible. If this is a real convertible, that will be extremely valuable. You can hear in the background there we've got some military vehicles. Pretty camper on there as well. Aston Martin DB6. I think this colour is silver birch. Panama hat on the parcel shelf, of course, because that's the law. And 5-speed gearbox as well. A little bit later than that plate would suggest. It's probably a personal plate. Be about 66 or later. One of these buggies, probably a GP buggy, judging by the steering wheel, based on a 60s Beetle, and a nice beige leather interior too. Those rear seats look incredibly dangerous, but never mind. If you're driving a GP buggy, I don't think you care. Honda CRX SIR. This is a very late second generation CRX, 91-92 registration with VTEC. I think I might have seen this somewhere before, but I don't actually remember where, viewers. Ooh, Chevy Nova SS 72-73 registration. Not that I know much about these, we'll just look at what we see and try to make it up as we go along. Another Ford Capri 2.8 injection. One of the later ones with the 5-speed gearbox. I don't know if this is a special or not. On a B, so 1984 to 1985 registration. I've got to be a bit careful about this area because a lot of these Land Rovers have engines that we can't discuss on this channel due to the ultra low emission zone in London and the friends of the mayor around the country. So we'll have a look at a couple of cars I don't think are going to be a too much of a problem, like this Morris 8 Series E. The pre and post was Morris 8 Series E look very similar. Versus this 47, it could easily be sort of like a 39 and they'd look pretty similar. Not really a surprise. This early Range Rover, I think we're pretty safe in that this is a petrol. This could be as early as a suffix B or something. 72-73 plate. With a 5-speed gearbox, that's been put in later then. Hopefully that's the 3.5 V8 in there, or maybe 3.9 if someone's changed it. I think this is a Rolls-Royce 2025, or I could be entirely wrong about that. This is an Alvis. I think this is a TC from memory. T21, thank you.
That's all right.
So it'd be very, very sort of early post-war then, if it's a TA, be kind of 49, something like that. Look at the slab of wood on the dashboard. I approve of that very much. 2006 Saab 9.3 Aero convertible. I've driven one of these. It was only a year newer than this. It was an auto, but it was with a basic engine and an automatic gearbox. This has the V6 turbo, so it'll be quite fast, viewers. Quite crammed into that engine bay. Yeah, same chassis as the Vauxhall Vectra C, although massively changed for Saab's own purposes, which is why the company were under really. They just kept, doing their own thing, and it cost a lot of money to General Motors and then Spiker, and eventually it all went wrong. So this is a GTD supercar recreation of the Ford GT40, made in 1987. Of course, it's much easier to get one of these than it is to get an original GT40. Probably wouldn't turn up at a show like this. You'd have the sort of armed guards around it or something. Yeah, it's a GTD as well. This one, gosh, this took about 10 years to build. This one. It was registered about 1998, although it's a 67-68 registration from Bournemouth. 74-75 Triumph TR6. I forget the name of this purple colour. Somebody will tell me in the comment section below. It's remarkably sort of original and unmolested, this one. MGTD, about 1950. I thought we'd see one of these today. 51, I was almost right. It's a 1250cc. E36 BMW 3 Series Coupe. I don't know if that's an M3 or not, actually. It might be by the mirrors. Some of it is replicas. 1977 to 78 Alfa Romeo Spider 2000 by Pininfarina. Right hand drive. The gear lever is always in a really strange place in these. It doesn't make for the most comfortable driving position I've ever had, but the car looks fantastic, of course. Another one of these Alfa Spiders. This one's a much earlier one. It's a 67, this one. Look at these glass covers on the headlamps. You know, we're sort of dusting off in the graduate specification, this one. Look at that, we've got the little sticker on there as well. Absolutely beautiful car. See, it's got the earlier rear end on it as well. Another MGB, of course, 70 to 71 on a J. Again, those interior door handles that first appeared on the Mark II Land Crab in about 1968. This has got the fish mouth grill, I think this is called, 71. Are there actually two of these A30s here? Yes, there are, because it's a two-door. So there are two A30s here. This is from 1955. And we've got the pickup here. And a very old Bentley just leaving as well. Listen to that noise. It's the noise of Patrick Macnee trying to drive it in the Avengers. There we go, yeah, A35 because of the grille. I wonder what year this Pontiac is. I think this is for sale or something. No, 1940, there we go. £15,000. Ring 07831295533. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. It's already done Paris to Peking a couple of times. Doesn't like the most comfortable seats I've ever seen in my life though in there.
Get
1953 Ford Victoria. Yeah, Victoria. I was right. Victoria Customer. Ooh, and a Bentley S. I'm assuming that's an S1 or an S2. Yeah, from Florida. That's probably why it survived. MGTC, also popular in Florida back in the day. Made ever so many of these for the GIs who were going home, and then when they got home they still wanted to buy them. Chevy Camaro, 1967, so a very early Camaro with a manual gearbox. It's the SS model with the little head and headlamps. Ford Cortina that has been changed. Yeah, so maybe like a console Cortina almost. 63, 15,000 pre-airflow console Cortina, V6, 4-speed manual. Sort of similar to the later Cortina Savage then, but it was a Mark II, probably later S6 or something like that in there, and it does say Savage on the back, so I was right for once. Morris Minor Traveller with the Morris Marina wheels on it, so it'll have the disc brake upgrade, which is a very good idea because on one of these they have drum brakes all round and they're totally unassisted, which is not fun sometimes. I have driven a Minor with this colour, Trafalgar Blue, and this age, but it was a two-door saloon, and that had the original brakes and it was terrifying. Oh, a Maserati. Very nice. 2001. Is that with the original hockey stick rear lights? We'll take a look. Kind of a dad cars channel. Yeah, I think they're called the 3200 GT hockey stick rear lights. Lotus Evora. Or is it one of the new ones? No, that's not an Evora. It's one of the new ones. I can forget the name of these. There's the Evija, I think it's called. I can't remember. I know what this is though. It's an Iota Ford from the early 50s. This is the Zephyr 6. This is the mid model as opposed to the Consul or the Zodiac. Ever so 50s. Bench seat. The indicators on the steering wheel there. Tiny instruments. Seat 6, but they're going to be very friendly. That's really good. I'm always amazed with the Iotas that relatively large numbers of them actually survive. Triumph TR4 1964 with the Triumph World logo on the hubcaps. Is this That's Lotus of Land split moving into the shade. We've seen that one actually in the first part. Another one of these Ford Populars or Anglias. This is a Popular. Again, modified. Sit up and bag. I don't know what seats these are off. But if somebody can tell me what those seats those are. The steering column has been changed. Massive rev counter. And there's a V8, of course it is. What's this little thing here? It's a single seater. I think it's a Ginetta, but I could be wrong. Oh, there we go. Mini 1275 GT, I believe. It just could just be a Clubman actually with the stick, because there's no stickers on it. I am appreciating the shade reviews. Yes, it is a Clubman 76 77 registration, not 1275 GT, although they look similar. The 1275 GT should have graphics on it, and this doesn't. Land Rover Series 2A, I think. Yeah, if it's one of those, it's quite a late one, I think. The headlamps are sort of in the wings rather than in the grille. Ford Mustang, 1966. Yes, 66. Don't know what type of Mustang this is. Another one of these Mark II Golfs. It's a big bumper model. It says driver in the registration, whereas it could be. You might not even tell me what it is anymore. Yeah, Golf driver. Registration's a little bit earlier than the car. I'd say it's like a 90 or a 91. There's the back of that Mustang. Honda NSX. Don't know exactly what year this is, but these I think are the correct wheels for it. It's one of the later cars as opposed to the really early ones. I'd say sort of late 90s. 1964 Ford Zephyr Zodiac Mark III. Seen all three of the first, seen all three generations of the Zephyrs and Zodiacs today. This one's got an automatic transmission. 1966 Austin Healey Sprite. I think this is a Mark III. Very similar to a Midget, just the letter is swapping badges over. Jaguar E-Type 1966, this will probably be a 4.2. That's not the 2+2 model. Yeah, it's not the 2+2, but it is a 4.2. Very nice. I've driven a 66 E-Type, but it was a 2+2. And then MGB, plenty of MGBs here as I would have expected a show like this. '74, '75. Oh yes, please. 1976, '77 Jaguar XJ12 Series 2 with a 5.3 litre engine and fuel injection. And we got the twin fuel tanks. Lots and lots of leather and wood. Really starting to sort of climb in value from where they were maybe just a few years ago. Mark 1 Escort 2-door, 1971-72 registration. I think this is Daytona yellow, but I could be wrong. It's not the sort of best condition. We've got sort of paint flaking off and tiny bits of rust, but I'm actually quite happy to see a car that's not totally immaculate. That actually makes me feel sort of a bit better than than just seeing these always concours. Another one of these MGs. I think this is a TC. And we've got this enormous thing here. What is this? Is this a Mercury? Yes, it is a Mercury. 79. Mercury Cougar XR7. It doesn't look much like the XR7 from Honda Magic Secret Service, does it? The wheels are massively kind of in board of the arches. I don't know why. The track's been quite narrow for the car. Maybe that was just for fashion back in the day. But yeah, there we go. Oh yes, that's really nice. Little Lotus Elan, fixed head coupe, 1966, a Series 3, I think, similar to the one that's used in the 5th and 6th series of the Avengers, but that's obviously the powder blue, and that's a convertible. This is a fixed head coupe, but that's really nice. 1959 Mercedes 220S ponton shape, the W180, I think 108 maybe. Right-hand drive. I thought this might be a UK car just for a minute, but it is a South African one. I'm not sure how many of these they sold in this country, if any at all. It's one of these Farina saloons, Wolsey 1660, 1968-69 registration. This is an auto. I'd actually quite like to try one of these Farina saloons. I've been sort of rushing through British classics recently: Triumph Stag, MGB, Morris Minor, that sort of stuff. I'd like to try one of these at some point. Wolseley would be nice, or even a Riley. And what else can we say? Aston Martin DB5 Silver Birch 1963, almost an exact replica of the car from Goldfinger and Thunderball. Very, very nice indeed, viewers. So that E-Type 4.2, I think they came in 65. There's no suffix on this plate, so I imagine it might be a later registration or something. That's a 66. Maybe that was a personal plate, because by 66 you would have had to have taken the suffix on your plate unless you had a plate ready to transfer, and that being a Brighton plate and being registered in London, I'd say that actually that was registered on someone's personal plate. MG Magnet. Let's have a look at the rear window and just see if this is a ZA or a ZB. Yeah, that's a ZA, smaller rear window. So I think to make it around 56, something like that. Another MGB, of course, with the wire wheels. It's an automatic one as well, yeah, but they did sell automatic ones, there weren't many. Pontiac Trans Am, is this sort of like a Smokey and the Bandit tribute or something? Yes, it is. There's Burt Reynolds and Sally Fields. Oh, Morris Mini Minor to Mark 1. Very early one. Another MGB 6970. Manual. And then the Porsche 911 996. I think this could possibly be a turbo. Yes, it is. 2002-3 registration. I think this is at least like a 77 Trans Am. It could be a little bit later than that. There's an information sheet here, so we can take a look. And it's 78. Okay, so it's actually in the Bandit Special Edition. That film was really, really successful actually, so there's no surprise there. Riley Elf Mark III. It has a Mark III badge, that's obviously the best way to tell, but also it's got the later style doors on it. These doors didn't appear until 1969 on the Mark III Mini, late 69, whereas the Elsem Hornet's actually got the doors before that, and that's actually a 67. And a Jaguar 4... Oh, sorry, no, this isn't a Jaguar, this is a Daimler Sovereign. I'll have a look at the information sheet and that will tell us maybe what year exactly this is. 67. So based on a Jaguar 420, which is based on a Jaguar S-Type, which is based on a Mark II. All very confusing. It's an interesting specification. It's for Daimler Sovereign, but it's got a manual gearbox in it. Well, speaking of Daimlers, a Daimler SP250 or Dart. And please, there's a little breeze coming through now, just because although it's a bit annoying for video, it's a bit cooler to film. It smells good, that one. Yeah, there's a Daimler Sovereign. Land Rover Series 2A. 68, 69 plate, one of the last ones with the headlamps and the grille. Nissan Pulsar N14, probably a GTIR. Yes, it is. It's a Wikipedia article there. Oh, hello. This is for sale. Send an email to Keith at pulsar@searingsolutions.com. I quite like this. I probably, if I had an N14, have a bit of maybe a tamer one than this. This would be maybe a bit much for me, but you know, some people like that. What's that? 94, 95 registration. Citroën de Chevaux Special 2CV6 is right on the cusp when we started making them in Portugal. I wouldn't be able to tell you whether it was one of those or not. 87, 88 registration. Austin Nash Metropolitan, made in Longbridge but principally exported to the USA. This one looks like a UK one. They did sell them over here for a bit. This is a 58 with a 1.5 engine. Oh right, someone's actually bought this from Eastleigh. That's where I come from today as well. Don't fall over things. Oh, a Lancia Fulvia Saloon. Now these are very rare. Very, very rare indeed. You usually see the coupes or these Zagato sport models. This is a saloon, probably with a 1.2 engine. It's still a very elegant looking car. I just think personally I prefer the coupes. And here is a coupe. It's a Series 1 coupe, 67, 68. Absolutely wonderful specification. Right hand drive and a beige or cream leather interior with the wooden steering wheel. Excellent. Yes please, I'd like one. The only problem is this is sort of like a 1.3 litre engine, and these Fulvias were the same price as a Jaguar E-Type. So as you can imagine, they didn't sell very well over here because you could just buy an E-Type for less money or about the same. Austin Healey 3000. Has he got a pre-suffix plate? Yeah, it's on a pre-suffix plate, so it's Mark II, to be about 1963. Little cousin here, the Frog Eye Sprite. None of these were made after 61, so I don't know what exactly year that is, but they only made them from 58 to 61, so you can narrow it down a bit. Sprite, I think. Oh, I can't remember what these were called, these little coupe ones. Was it a Sebring or something? I don't remember. Oh yes, it is a Sebring. Gosh, I surprise myself sometimes, viewers, with my accidental knowledge. Alvis here, I say that's from the 20s. Alvis 1250. I mean, that is pretty special. Look at those door handles. And that's the boot. It's literally like a trunk someone's put on the back. Wonderful. And a Datsun Sunny. Sunny GL. Look at this. 120Y. Look at this in 70s interior. Amazing. Look at that radio. This one is a 76. So it's made for the Japanese domestic market and imported in the 80s. I mean, you can sort of tell in a way because you've got these funny wing mirrors and things like that. B211 facelifted version. For some reason somebody imported one of those from Japan. So it was known as a 120Y over here rather than the Sunny. Austin Moke, you could have a Morris or an Austin Moke back in the day. 67, 58 registration. I'm getting vibes, of course, from the Prisoner, which weren't actually this colour. Fantastic. 2012 Ford Mustang, Boss Edition, I think. Boss 302. Enormous engine, isn't it? Then we have Caterham 7. Sport SV. Can somebody tell me, maybe in the comment section, what engine a Caterham Sport SV would have? Anyway, that is quite enough for part 2 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the Yattendon Classic Vehicle today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video in the comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more incorrect information.